picking up another commitment in 24, and that is Jacob Smith, the brother of Gerard Smith, who we weren't always sure. Although, if you watch this show, I kept telling you I had a good feeling about Smith. It was the twin connection. I mean, I was honest, forthcoming about where I was with making my prediction. I thought that Jacob ultimately, yeah, he wanted to blaze his own path. Sure, he wanted to take a look at what else was out there, but ultimately, that twin pull, unless you have to, like when these guys get drafted in the first round, and the Raiders take Jacob, and then the next pick, the 49ers take Jared, then they'll have to be broken up. But hell, even then, we've seen it like in hockey. Was it Vancouver had the Sedin twins for so long, and there's some other examples there. But welcome in to Jacob Smith. It's good to see him in the maize and blue, and he's a 4-star defensive lineman, 6'4", 226, out of Connecticut. It had 5'8" ranking on Rivals. He's one of the top defensive linemen in the country, and he's coming into Michigan. All good news there when it comes down to Smith. You watch a little bit of the tape, and you can see his athleticism all over the field. I mentioned, 6'4", and he looks bigger than that against the competition that he's playing. But you can see what an incredible athlete he is. And this is in some of I'm showing a video of him backpedaling and going 20 yards down the field and making a play. And then as I watched, 10 minutes of this video, there are things just that pop out regardless of who he's playing, what you're watching, or anything else. Getting off the line at the snap of the ball and getting into the backfield, you just saw it right there. Anticipation goes with that, but just a burst and athletic ability to, there's the snap. He's in the backfield before like anybody else is moving. That's one of the things that jump out. I would say that he has elite takeoff, the line of scrimmage. That was one thing that stood out to me. And then, I don't know his background, but he looks like he could be an awesome basketball player at 6'4", the way his footwork, the way he's backpedaling. When I see a guy like this and I see the athleticism, there's a linebacker that played for Clemson, and he got drafted by the Arizona Cardinals, named Isaiah Simmons. And I see some shades with Jacob Smith with Simmons, the way he's built, his frame, his athletic ability, and just the way he's running all over the field. I mean, he looks like it's one of these, and this happens a lot when you're watching this high school film. He looks like he is playing at a faster speed, like you got it at times too, and everybody else has stayed though with the regular speed. Obviously, that's a testament to him and what he's able to do out on the football field. But Michigan gets a good one here, and they continue. What would we say has been the Wolverines' calling card these last 2 years? Well, there's a lot of things, but and it depends how narrow you want to get down to it. Anything else, but saying line play kind of covers it. Is whether it's offensive line or defensive line, and you could put the edge. You could say, well, technically, those are the linebackers, like we're Hutchinson, or you could say, hey, these guys, multiple fronts, and edge is sort of a defensive lineman, whatever you want. I would say a line play, because that gives me a chance to say offensive line, which obviously has been huge. And I got a little treat for you coming up on the Michigan offensive line. Plus, if you will, making an edge as a defensive lineman, if you'll allow me that, then I can talk about the edge play. If I'm looking for one specific position, I think I would say, specifically the edge. What has made the difference for Michigan these last 2 years? The edge play. Now, you might want to say running back, and I think you can make a great case for running back, but I'll make a case for edge. And Jacob Smith, There it goes. It's a good argument to have. Running back, edge, running back, edge. Let's go. Let's fight it out. Let's see what you think. Speaking of what you think, let's take a little feedback from the people on what they think about Michigan's 26th verbal commitment. And for that, we start out with Mr. DTWA Sports Talk, who really likes how the Michigan class is shaping up. You do? I understand that that you like how the class is coming along. I get that. Michigan. I checked it again today. Their rankings and the team rankings for rivals for 24 with their 26 commitments. They have stayed at number 3. So right there at number 3, you know that they're still going to add some players. You know they're still going to flip some players. They might lose a couple, but then they'll add a couple. But they're in great position. They're doing. You think back to last year, and you're thinking, they're not doing such a great job. But this year, it's different. They are doing a great job. Wolverine Fan 2 says the Smith twins, Michigan trying to be blocked by the Armstrong twins from OSU. How cool is that? That's cool. I'm with you. I can see what you're saying. Justin is talking about the need for a defensive tackle in this class. Well, yeah, and they were really looking, they had a couple. Remember Paulie was wearing that, had that Michigan, those who stay was wearing, or not wearing, but he was holding up one of those signs. It looked good for Michigan and Paulie. And then I don't know if it looked good ever for Michigan and Justin Scott, but obviously they wanted him. They got Wafel. You can make a case as a defensive tackle, or Manuel Biegel, who's also in this class. So, but yeah, I mean, if you're, and you always are, we get that. You're always like, it doesn't matter if you have the number 1 class. You can always say, yeah, but what about another 5-star at wide receiver? So I think everybody agrees with you, Justin. They wouldn't mind another defensive tackle. DT saying he sees the defense being really good, not just this year, but championship level next year too. Yeah, well, the way they responded last year defensively, after losing their coordinator, after losing Hutchinson, after losing Ajabo, after losing Dax Hill and others. I was reading something yesterday about the staff at the Athletic. They were going to each team, and they were talking about the player that's going to surprise this year. When they went to the Cincinnati Bengals, Dax Hill was mentioned as the player that was going to surprise. So, losing that and being able to come back and perform as well or better last year, and now that the system is in place, you have to admit things feel really good and look really good on the defensive side of the ball. Yeah, nose, you want a nose. You would like to see it. Andre's checking in a happy hour on a Friday, which I like. DTWA says, pronounce it Detroit, which is French, and are the ones who founded Detroit in 1701. Detroit. Okay. I'll make that adjustment. It rolls off the tongue a lot easier, honestly, than saying DTWA. Detroit Sports Talk. I like it. Let's give a warm welcome to our friends from the Deep South, with the Buckeye Garrison coming in like for consecutive days in here. Good to see you, BBG. And, you're probably happy sitting back, with some of the Michigan fans lamenting the loss of Justin Scott to Ohio State. JC is worried about everything we will lose after this year. Still think we'll be fine, but probably going to lose a lot of players and both coordinators. If we win the Natty, then potentially Harbaugh as well. Wow. Well, sign me up. Sign me up for a national championship and everybody leaves. I mean, I don't want everybody to leave, but the first part there is something that I want, and there you go.